Hello everyone, welcome back to Homestuck. Upon request, I will be doing a tier list this episode with an actual tier list. Somebody's got an actual Act 5 one. Before now, I looked it up and I couldn't find any, but there is one there now. So, either I missed it or it just showed up, but hey, there we go. I just, was looking at this picture, and other than the fact that we've never seen the blue lizards, even though maybe it's a frog from Jade's World? I don't know. I know it's from Jade's World, for sure. But yeah, we've never seen them yet, so I don't know how Rose got one. But there's like a beam of light shining up over here. I don't know what that is. Maybe we'll find out. Anyway, last time we were... What's his name? Doc Scratch? Yeah, that's his name. Oh, shoot! Oh, boy! I almost forgot again! Hold on. You know exactly what I'm talking about if you watched the last week's episodes? Okay, please? Oh, there I am. Yeah, okay. You got me. Okay. Has there always been a random stray pixel behind me? You can't see it. I can only see it on my end. It's literally too small. The capture can't even pick it up. So I don't even know why I'm bringing it up. Anyway, let's pester informant. It's Rose time. Oh my god, this is like the 5th time you've used this image of Rose on a laptop. It's almost like she's been sitting on a laptop for 3 years. Anyway, it's quite warm here in Lohak. I think I've been patient enough. When will I receive further instruction? Now. So, I could have contacted you at any time? No, only now. I came away with the impression from our last conversation that our next would take place on your invitation. I was being polite by waiting. Your inevitable impatience caused you to contact me again. Inevitability is my invitation. Oh, how suave. That's pretty smug. I am right to be smug. I am omniscient, extremely powerful, and very charming. Right. Well, 2 out of 3 isn't bad. Could you use your limitless intelligence to figure out which ones I mean? That was clever. If I plead ignorance to the fact that you are denying my charisma, it invalidates my claim of omniscience. But if I must adhere to my all-knowing status, it forces me to validate the unfortunate reality that you are feigning the opinion that my demeanor is unpalatable. Not that it matters, because I have all 3 qualities, and you know it. This is stupid. Could we get to the point? Yes, I was about to say. We should hurry this along. My visitor is beginning to set things on fire. You have a visitor? Who? Some guy. I was joking anyway. I'm not in a hurry at all. You tell jokes. Yes. Ha ha. So, your visitor isn't setting anything on fire then? Oh, he most definitely is. Hee hee. I'm not really getting the joke. I was joking about being in a hurry. From my perspective, this conversation is taking place in less than 1 second. I type very quickly. Hoo-hoo. I thought you didn't lie. Aren't jokes essentially humorous lies? At least, those like the one you just attempted. Jokes are only temporary lies. If the falsehood was never imposed, there is no punchline. If the punchline is never delivered, the lie is sealed forever, regardless of initial humorous intent. Lies are not funny. I think if you're going to risk tarnishing your record of honesty, you should probably get better material. My joke was objectively funny. Who would know better than I? Okay. So you're saying an inaccurate statement doesn't count as a lie, as long as you say just kidding later. Basically. What if it's much later? Is it still just a joke? No, that would be something closer to a prank. I don't play pranks very often. Are you allowed to lie about playing pranks? If I asked you if you were playing a prank on me, would you tell the truth? I'm allowed to do whatever I want. I choose never to lie. I also choose to tell jokes now and then, and to play pranks quite sparingly. But I can say that I have never played a prank on you, and no statement I have made to you thus far, or will make in this conversation, will contain any trace of falsehood for the sake of setting up a joke or a prank, with the exception of the joke I just made, and another one I will make very soon. I'm starting to change my mind. Oh? Yes, I think your joke was funny in retrospect. Actually, your whole shtick is pretty good. I'm warming up to it. Ah, yes, I knew it. Just to be clear,
Was the assurance you just made a prank or a joke?
It was neither. It was the truth.
Was that?
Yes. The truth? Yes.
Okay. Were you serious about wanting to die?
Yes.
Why?
I'll tell you later.
Why?
Because you asked.
But why not now?
Because that piece of information would not fit elegantly into the sequence of our exchange at this moment.
Then, you know how this entire conversation will go.
That's what omniscient means, yes. Yes.
Is that true of all conversations you have?
Yes. Until briefly, I don't. But the dark spots never last long. The truth disguises itself to me sometimes, which can be mildly frustrating, but it usually reveals itself quickly. What? Oh, much as if a punchline was being delivered. It's a humorous dialogue I have with reality, and it is very amusing.
Then, why do you bother with conversations at all? Obligation to predestination as usual?
There is no obligation. It is a pleasure.
It is?
I've always had a soft spot for young ladies.
That's a little creepy.
No, it is not.
Yes, it is.
No, it is not.
It kind of is.
I've looked into the future and determined that we would continue in this matter pointlessly for some time, so I'm putting an end to it here.
That doesn't make sense. Was that the other joke?
Yes.
Good one.
Thank you.
How young are the ladies you typically take a shining to? And does this mean you're attracted to me? Suddenly this conversation is kind of terrible.
Of course I'm not. Not in the way you mean. And anyway, you are applying standards of conduct frowned upon for your kind, which make no sense to apply to me. I am an immortal entity with a large cue ball for a head, and no biological means of reproduction.
Really?
Also, if you are millions of years old, you would find that nearly every lady you encounter is quite young, relatively speaking. There should be no reason for you to feel uncomfortable with this interaction. Try to think of me as one of your kindly human uncle figures. Doesn't help. In fact, if I were in your presence now, I would offer you candy to prove it.
Oh my god.
What?
Can we talk about the scratch instead of this?
Yes. Well, we're gonna find out what this is.
Wait, is it a scratch on time?
Oh! That bro did. Bro stuck the sword in here. Is that what we're talking about? Because time is a DJ set. Brand new sentences, but not really because Homestuck's been out for a while. Anyway, you are situated near the game construct supplied by your session for causing the scratch, yes?
Are you actually asking?
No, that was a fact, and then a question mark.
Ah, well, yes I am. It's a large plateau shaped like a record. It's called the Beat Mesa.
I know.
Is the game construct different in other sessions?
Yes. It will always be an edifice of similarly cryptic design, located on the planet that is home to the Hero of Time. The Hero of Time? It's Link! Its environment dictates the nature of its construction. Its power is dangerous, and is meant to be utilized only in emergencies such as yours.
You mean, in sessions where victory is no longer possible?
Yes.
Due to creating an unstoppable adversary, who triggers the reckoning prematurely. Is that sort of emergency common?
No. Failure is common, but the composition of yours is quite atypical.
Okay, then it's like a panic button for the players to push once they realize the cause is lost.
Yes, but causing the scratch is not an easy task either. The construct must be destroyed in a very specific way to release its energy. The keeper of my ectobiological father began the process. It must be finished.
Who?
The guardian of the Night of Time.
Dave's bro?
Yes.
How do I finish it?
You don't. Not you personally. Another will. You have something more important to attend to, remember?
Oh, right. The green... Never mind, wait. The green sun.
Yes.
I plan to take care of that later once John had retrieved the tumor. Or, tumor. Whatever.
Your plan will have to change. You aren't ready to cause the scratch yet. Like I said, it's difficult.
What will the one who does it have to do? I should let them know.
You will have to scratch the surface of the plateau across its full diameter.
I see. This terminology can be very literal sometimes.
You will require a certain needle to create a breach in the surface that will be adequate.
I have needles.
Your needles will not suffice.
Then where do I get the ones that will?
Again, you won't. The task is out of your hands. The needles must be acquired from the denizen of the Witch of Space. Her quills are very large and potent. They will be able to cause the scratch.
This really seems more elaborate than you led me to believe.
I didn't lead you to believe anything. I told you to find the construct and await advisement on the scratch. The plans you were making were based on assumptions and fabrications of your own imagination. You were writing more stories, much like those about your false magical men.
I wish what I'd written in my private journals could be confined to your dark spots.
I don't. I find your stories entertaining.
You're being creepy again.
No, I am not. Besides, the White King agrees with me.
What?
For a seer, your vision of events surrounding you is limited. It's charming.
Just, please stop complimenting me.
No. Not going to happen. Well, that's a crack more than a scratch.
Fine. Then please at least try to sound more sarcastic when you do it.
She's just shy to compliments. This is the worst possible scenario. Oh, sure. I'm really going to do that. Yes, very likely.
Then I presume the scratch will be implemented later, by either John or Dave, I presume? You used a male pronoun.
Yes.
I guess it makes sense that it would happen later. My understanding is that Jack will not be banished from the session until near the end of the reckoning.
Yes. Jack will exit your session later, but this has nothing to do with the scratch. Not directly, as you imply.
I don't understand. I thought that was the point of the scratch, to open a rift in space-time, as it were, and banish him into the troll session.
No, that is not the purpose of the scratch at all. The scratch does not open a rift in space-time.
Then why have you directed me to cause it? Does it have something to do with enabling you to die?
No, not directly. The scratch has nothing more to do with my death than any other single event ultimately contributing to my demise.
I think it's disingenuous for you to behave as if you have not been as if I have not been misled. You say you don't lie, but what about lies of omission?
Lies of omission do not exist. The concept is a very human one. To an omnipotent being, lies of omission seem very silly. It is the product of your story writing again. You have written a story about the truth, making emotional demands of it, and in particular of those in possession of it. Your demands are based on a feeling of entitlement to the facts, which is very childish. You can never know all of the facts, only I can. And since it's impossible for me to reveal all of facts to you, it is my discretion alone that decides which facts will be revealed in the finite time we have. If I do not volunteer information you deem critical to your fate, it possibly means that I am a scoundrel, but it does not mean that I am a liar, and it certainly means you did not ask the right questions. One can make either true statements or false statements about reality. All of the statements that I make are true.
Unless you're joking.
Yes.
Ha, hee hee, hoo.
Exactly.
Then I guess I'll start asking better questions.
Good. I'll make a seer of you yet.
Will you?
Yes. You can start by shoring up the reliability of your sources. You proceeded to question me, believing you understood the purpose of the scratch. You received your information about it from trolls. I assure you that in most ways the trolls are as confused about everything as you are.
Okay, noted. What exactly does the scratch do then?
It resets the game.
Oh, that's it?
Yes.
Then we all start from the beginning again, when John entered?
No. The release of temporal energy will be quite massive. It is a hard reset. It will reboot the conditions in your universe well before you began playing the game. You will have lived different lives after the reset. The different initial conditions will ideally lead to a more favorable scenario in a new session. Unfortunately, you will have no memory of anything that happened in the session you're in now.
What will happen to us? Everything in this session now?
You will all cease to exist completely if you remain here during the scratch.
That seems familiar. It reminds me of when Dave and I were trapped in the doomed timeline and he left to change the past. The timeline ceased to exist along with my dream self, who in a way became merged with my dream self in this timeline. Kept some of her memories. Is this situation similar?
Similar, but more severe. Since this timeline will undergo such a violent upheaval, such a merger of memory cannot happen. You will be resigned to absolute oblivion, unless you can discover a way to preserve yourselves. But it's not really my place to advise you on that. After you've dealt with the scratch and the sun, what happens to you is not any of my business. Aha, so we're going to jump to the troll session. I see.
Then, can you at least tell me if we will be successful in preserving ourselves after the reset?
I don't particularly enjoy spoiling things for people when unnecessary. I find speaking in a discreet color helps avoid this. Oh, yeah.
So, if the scratch isn't specifically meant to banish Jack from the session, and our quest to destroy the sun is meant to kill him, why is the reset necessary at all? Especially if it means oblivion for us.
I was going to ask the same thing, honestly. If they can succeed in destroying the Green Sun and depowering Jack, then the scratch is unnecessary. And we know that Jack goes to the other timeline, so presumably they also go to the other timeline, which means that they don't destroy the Green Sun, at least not in this timeline. Or this session is probably more accurate, you know what I mean. Because you cannot achieve the ultimate reward in this session, your battlefield is cancerous, and the Reckoning will destroy it prematurely regardless. By resetting, you will create a new session which can bear the fruit of a new universe, even if you will not be the ones to claim the reward. Don't you want to fulfill your purpose?
I guess, but it's a little disheartening to learn I'm now faced with not one but two suicide missions at once. One to destroy Jack's power source and defend all of existence, and another to ensure our cosmic progeny at the price of oblivion.
At the price of oblivion. I think that's a song I've listened to before, so I'm sure that won't come back later. That frames the dual objectives accurately. But if you are inventive, you may find a way to survive the reset and participate in the renewed session. It's up to you. Just as it's up to you to face the decision to claim immortality before you enter your creation.
Immortality?
Yes.
Do you mean ascending to the god tier?
Yes. John's immortal?
I have reason to believe that I won't. The trolls have not indicated I will die on my quest bed, or that any of us will, aside from John. Instead, I've been given a more troubling and ambiguous forecast.
What have I said about confirming the reliability of your sources?
Are you saying I will?
No.
Oh, well, will I?
It seems you'd like me to do some more fortune-telling.
Fine. Maybe this question will suit you better. Is it probable?
That's a strange question to ask someone who is omniscient and therefore knows outcomes with 100% certainty. I like it.
Then what's your answer?
You have exactly a 50% chance of ascending to the god tier.
That's a strange answer.
I know.
Why such a precise probability?
Because, much like the decisions you must face to complete your dual suicide missions, you have two ways of achieving godhood to choose from.
2 ways? By dying on the quest bed on my planet and some other way?
Yes.
Is there another quest bed somewhere?
Yes. Good guess, Sia.
Where?
What difference does it make? You already know where the first one is. You have the choice to go there right now and take your own life.
That's true.
Of course it is.
You mentioned immortality. Godhood makes one immortal.
Yes.
A god tier will live forever, with no caveats.
No. One will live forever, unless killed. The death must be either heroic or just. Oh my. That sounds bad for John.
How are those terms defined?
Broadly, mysteriously, and according to the case of the individual. One may be killed by opposing a corrupt adversary and die for a just cause, as through martyrdom, for instance. This would be heroic. Or one may be subject to corruption and slain by a hero. This would be just.
Which sort of death will you have when I destroy the sun?
Neither. I am not a god. I am a guardian, a servant, and a weapon. I have power and knowledge far surpassing a god, but I am not one.
Is this when you're going to tell me why you want to die?
Yes.
I sense it's not just because you're getting bored with immortality.
That's good. Your vision is becoming clearer.
Then why?
My master can't enter this universe until I am killed. Such is the nature of the break.
That almost sounds like martyrdom. Are you sure it won't be a hero's death?
Quite sure. My master is a very evil man.
Who is he?
I won't tell you his name, but he goes by the title Lord English. Ah, the cloak of many colors.
This doesn't sound like an especially admirable objective. Releasing an evil man who's presumably far more powerful than you, an already omnipotent being. Am I right?
You are right about both. It is not admirable, and he is considerably more powerful. But you must decide which objective is more important. You may decide to attempt to destroy the sun and end my life. This will neutralize Jack, who is also much more powerful and dangerous than myself by virtue of the ring he wears, in addition to drawing energy from the same sun as I. He poses a significant threat to reality.
But in the process of killing him and you, I release your master, who is just as deadly.
Oh, he's more deadly. But the danger he poses is sanctioned by paradox space. It is a known quantity. His very existence in a universe will mean it will inevitably be torn apart. But there are rules to his entry, and his grim procession through paradox space is rather orderly. The present equilibrium has accounted for him, and will continue to. Jack, however, is a loose cannon. He will not stop until he destroys everything he encounters. Additionally, his existence is your responsibility.
Then I guess I don't have a choice.
You do, but also know this. Refusing to venture out to destroy the sun in no way spares anyone from my master regardless. Sorry, I needed to breathe for a second. It is certainly true that destroying it will end my life, and it is certainly true that the tumor you would deliver to its location has enough power to destroy it completely, but it is not the only way to kill me. It is simply a way, one I have suggested to you, which doubles as a way to disarm Jack, should you choose to go through with it. Instances of myself have spawned in countless universes, and my objective is always the same. I have never once failed to complete this objective, and I never will. There is nothing noble about taking a course of action you believe will prevent his arrival, because that is impossible. In fact, he is already here. Give me a second. There's a cat. I also wanted to make a little thing about predicting who Lord English might be. But I haven't yet. So we'll see. There's some omnipresent forces that could be Lord English. What if Lord English is just time? What if Lord English is Cal? Anyway. Where was I? He will come. In fact, he is already here.
Are you saying that I will succeed in the mission to destroy the sun?
Are you asking for another palm reading? You seem rather keen on acquiring a fortune from me, considering you are the one with the crystal ball.
I'm just trying to ask as many questions as I can. It's the only way to find the dark spots in your obstinacy.
I've been very helpful, and I will continue to be. I myself do not care to be an oracle, but I can graciously supply you with one.
Can you?
An eager consort has brought you one of my seeds. It appears you have amassed followers who wish to please you. How fortuitous.
Your seeds?
The white orb.
Oh, the cue ball. How did I not notice this?
It will accurately answer any question a curious girl can pose, provided she can see through the surface to read its reply.
Is that possible?
Is it, Sia? Given your title, and all the tools of prognostication at your disposal, it seems to me I should be the one asking you the questions.
How can I see through it?
It seems you weren't listening, so I will state again in the form of a question. Don't you think I should be asking the questions from you? Asking the questions from now on. I thought he was going to repeat the exact same thing, but he didn't.
Yes, if you want it to be disingenuous and irritating.
Don't you think a clever person should be able to acquire information from someone who only asks questions?
Then it's a challenge. I pass.
Do you have a choice? What if I'm feeling a bit stubborn?
Okay, so what you mean is that I should continue humoring your leading questions until you happen to ask certain rhetorical questions that contain information I need.
Was that a question?
That was a fact, and then a period.
How does a seer see?
With a crystal ball? I already considered that. I don't think I can get the focus of the ball to zoom in tight enough to the cue ball's enclosure to read the answers.
How else does she see?
By other magical means, I guess. Should I use magic?
Do you believe in magic?
Magic is real. I've been using it.
Are you sure?
Use whatever word you want to describe it. I have magic wands. They're very powerful, and they allow me to be magic. Your questions are silly.
What makes you convinced the wands are responsible for your abilities?
Because I did not have the abilities before I made them.
Could this be circumstantial?
Could it?
Is there an echo?
Is there an echo?
Hee hee.
I don't know what you're getting at. How about another leading question?
What did you combine to make those wands?
Some stuff.
Knitting needles? An inexpensive figurine of some fictional fellow with long whiskers? A simple textbook on the zoologically dubious? Why would this mundane combination of objects grant a child such an alarming mastery over dark forces all at once?
I'm guessing this is one of the rhetorical questions meant to be informative. So then, my answer should affirm how ridiculous that sounds, shouldn't it?
Maybe.
That wasn't even a question.
Yes, it was.
Okay, magic is fake. The wands are useless toys, and there's something else going on. Next question?
Would it be so difficult to believe the power you found to devastate your planet and create shortcuts through your session is not entirely by your own device? Would it be so difficult to believe a young lady could be unwittingly apprenticed by more powerful entities who meant her potential to be realized later through some arbitrary trigger? What would you say if I said a dutiful girl raised in the daylight was protected by a bulb-headed guardian and learned to glow in the dark after death? What would you say if I said a vengeful boy on a path of nihilism was taken under the wings of fearsome angels and learned to destroy hope with their light? What would you say if I said a reserved girl enamored by what dwelt in shadow was selected by the horror terrors for her service and did their bidding at every step while convinced of her own autonomy? Sounds very, similar to some people I know.
What would I say to those short fables? Not much, except I gather the third is a story about me, and that there's a lesson you'd like me to take from it. That I should renounce my allegiance before my grimdark corruption is absolute. And while I'm at it, I should discard these useless wands, because apparently the power was in my little black heart all along. Is that right?
Won't you have to give up your specibus to the one who causes the scratch regardless? How else will the young man wield that great big needle?
I don't know, if you say so.
Haven't your friends already shown concern for your recklessness and your increasing sense of detachment from the party, the team objectives, and not to mention those of your personal quest? Does this worry you? Is there a part of you left that's able to worry?
Yes, it's been mysteriously localized in my middle finger. Could the dark magics be at work again?
Do you deny that you've been neglecting incoming messages from your teammates? Would that be in keeping with the spirit of the human emotion of friendship for one whose soul was not so befouled by the designs of unknowable monstrosities?
Friendship isn't an emotion, numbnuts.
Isn't it, Rose? Isn't it?
I've been busy. I'll get back to them. And can we please stop doing the patronizing question thing? In exchange, I promise I will discontinue my patronizing responses.
Can the omniscient be patronized?
The omnispotent can do whatever they please. I guess I'm just asking you nicely to do me this favor.
Very well. I will stop smothering you with surprise noodles.
Huh?
But only because I find you to be adorable.
Ugh, so creepy.
So cute.
Yuck!
I'm going to ask the same questions I asked earlier. Please do not regard it as a violation of my pledge. It is just an ordinary question, like those that crop up in an ordinary conversation.
Okay.
How does a seer see?
I don't know.
Be literal.
With her eyes?
Take the orb, ask it a question.
I don't know what to ask anymore. I'm confused.
What would you ask me?
I would ask what I should do next.
Then ask.
What should I do next?
Not me, the ball, dunkass. Ask. Sun-Eye. What's it gonna say? Answer Jade. Okay, well, that's fair. Answer. She's got Sun-Eye now, forever.
Sorry for the delayed response. Answering seems to be what to do right now. Rose, jeez! Finally! You sure seem to be absorbed in whatever you're doing on that computer. Were you talking to someone? Oh, right. I forgot I gave you the code for the crystal ball. And here I was thinking I could safely delay responding to messages without seeming like an ass. The way it usually works. Oops. Oh, no. I don't blame you for not responding. You must be very upset. Are you okay? Why would I be upset? Because... I figured you would have found out by now, but I guess you still don't know. Know what? About John's dad and your mom? Rose? Hello? Oh, no.
Yeah, I killed him. I'll kill him again. Jade. With the absolute... What does this face remind me of? I've definitely seen an image with this face on it before. Might be like the yippee thing or whatever. I don't know.
Rose, please say something. You're making me nervous. I should have gone looking for her. Why didn't I? Because you were busy trying to make the best of this situation. John was too, but he went to look for his father. It would have been normal of me. I can't remember what I was trying to prove anymore. I don't think you should be so hard on yourself about it. John was being John, and you were being you, which I guess meant taking our problems very seriously and putting all your attention on solving them. And anyway, you and your mom had a much trickier relationship than John and his dad, didn't you? I mean, not that I'm saying that means you were any less attached to her than him. I don't know if I'm very good at consoling people. Sorry, Rose, I don't want to make you feel worse. You're doing fine for someone raised by a dog, or really anyone. Thanks. Whew, okay. You know, now we've all lost guardians. Dave lost his, and I lost mine in a weird way. Even though that was pretty much definitely my fault. And even the trolls all lost their monster guardians. I think it might be an inevitable part of the game that can be cruel sometimes. For this reason, despite all the danger, I never thought she was in any trouble. I never believed she would actually die. I grew up with a feeling that something more significant had always been meant for her, that she was a heroine displaced in some way, resigned to the inglorious duty of raising me and preparing me in her way. I didn't actually need the ectobiological verification that she was like a mother and a sister at the same time. I always understood that somehow, and I felt she had knowledge and ability beyond what she let on. It was always intimidating, but nonetheless a source of respect which was childishly begrudging on my part. I think she was just waiting for me to catch up to her, but now I can't. I'm so sad. Rose, I think you're being stronger about it than I am. Probably because my emotions have now ceded to anger. This shouldn't have happened. Oh, well, I just hope you aren't thinking of doing something rash. I already was. I was going to go to sleep, fly to the sun bigger than our universe, drop a bomb in it, and kill myself. Yeah. So if my course of action is to change on account of my mood, it can only become less impetuous, don't you think? I don't know. You never liked my plan very much anyway. Well, no, but I was trusting that you thought it through and it was our best hope. I'm not even sure I did. Maybe it was a terrible plan. I made it without a full understanding of the nature of the scratch. Then what'll you do? I could stop being so cowardly for once. I could short-circuit this endlessly expanding game of chess we're playing, just like Jack decided to do. What does that mean? Maybe I'll go kill Jack myself, right now. Oh, no. Rose, that is a much worse plan. He'd probably kill you. Probably, but the scratch will wipe us all out anyway, and reboot the conditions of our session. I suddenly don't feel much like sneaking through the back door of the furthest ring for retribution by distant supernova. I know what you mean. I was angry at Jack and wanted to stop him too, but we have to think of a more sensible way to do it. Whether my existing plan was sensible or not, I may have been allowing myself to be manipulated by an omniscient being regardless. What? Who? Hello, ladies. Ah! What? This is a private conversation. Private even to those who know it word for word already.
Proceed. I will be here, watching.
Rose, who is that? Ignore him. I don't even know what's going on anymore.
We were discussing Miss Lalonde's intrepid new variation on suicide. As one with a passion for the subject, I'm intrigued.
Shush. Anyway, if it's true the gods have selected me for service, maybe the power they've given me will be sufficient. Maybe they wanted me to kill him all along.
Hee.
Shush! Please don't, Rose. I know you're angry, but you aren't thinking straight. But I am. I'm fully aware I'll probably die and fail. Scratch happens, we start fresh. No recollection, no problem. No!
Jade, as an ambassador of Skya, maybe you'd be willing to talk some sense into your friend. You should understand she's been corrupted by various entities with some rather questionable motives.
Rose, maybe White Tech Sky is right. The Dark Gods gave you all these powers and seem to be helping us with the dream bubbles and stuff. But what if they're not actually good?
They're enormous, ugly, and live in darkness. That doesn't necessarily make them bad.
No, but I still don't trust them.
If only there was a way to make this determination with certainty, through a reliable source within reach, for instance, at this exact moment, perhaps one that is spherical and devastatingly handsome.
What's this weirdo talking about? The cue ball. Oh yeah, I noticed you found it. I was worried it'd been destroyed when my room blew up. Is he saying you can use it?
Yes, and he's right.
Oh my god, how does it work?
It advised me to talk to you just now, so I guess so.
Then maybe you should try it.
Yes, Rose, listen to Jade. She was far less manipulative than I. That's very funny.
What are you suggesting I ask it? Well, since we don't know much about the gods, why don't you ask it about them? So, you're saying I should ask it if the gods are evil? I guess that's a way to put it.
Even though, at this point, neither of you is highlighting my text to read it, this idea gets my vote. Go ahead, ask Seeker. Seer, not Seeker. Seer, ask. 100%. What? Oh, it was loading. The sun. This was definitely going to have sound, but there's no sound. Been there before. I've seen this before. I can't remember. It was the dream bubbles. Yeah. Interesting. What is it gonna say? Maybe. It's gonna be maybe. Huh? Oh, we don't get to know. So cool. Huh? Oh, Gamzee, right. It's like, what? Oh yeah, I forgot he had his glasses. Wait, Kanaya has them now. That's right, because it went right. Okay, well, at least Kanaya can see Rose again. That's cool. Rose, go dark. Oh, she did it. Okay.
You slip into the fabled Black Death trance of the woey Gothics, quaking all the while in the blood-eldritch throes of the brood-fester tongues. You advise the members of your complacency not to be alarmed, as they chronicle the event in tomes bound in the tanned, writhing flesh of a tortured hell-scholar, with runes stoked in the black tears bled from the corruption-weary eyes of 50,000 imaginary occultists. But they fail not to be alarmed.
That doesn't look good.
This is because, as is now painfully obvious to anyone with a brain, you've basically gone completely off the deep end in every way. You've officially gone grimdark.
No! Resist urge to seek revenge. Not grimdark.
You make a half-hearted attempt to resist the urge. Alas, one is not easily shaken from the brood-fester tongues.
Wait, what are you doing? What are you doing? We're flying up. Okay, she flew up.
They are stubborn throws.
Big man, request some time out.
Okay.
Perfect time. Perfect time for the end of the episode. So, you know what that means. It's time to rank. Alright, it's time to tier. As always, I'm really only going to be tiering the actual players. Though I thought I'd throw, seems how we got all these all these ones in here, I might as well throw the sprites in there. Why not? I could throw in the exiles as well. The problem is I just don't care about any of them. Even Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor's funny, but like, eh. He's kind of on the same level as like Diamond's Droog. Like, he's there. Not a big deal. I would rank Spade Slick, but we already have Jack Noir. Which, is he in this list? Yeah, there he is. I'll rank him too. Sure, why not? And I guess this guy is showing up as well. Okay, let's start. This is a little different than my normal ones, but I don't have that many entries, so I'm going to try to rank them between tiers. And then it'll be kind of like my normal ones, and the person who makes these comments can still sift through it properly. Let's start with John. I still like John. He's still a relief when he's on screen. So is Dave. Let's just get the good ones out of the way here. Karkat, yeah. I think, honestly, Kanaya has made it to this status as well. Where I'm like, oh, thank goodness. Why is John in a disguise here? What the heck? Yeah, okay. I think that's everybody who's up there. Tavros, boring, sorry. I like Tavros, but he didn't get to do anything, and now he's dead, so he's going to get to do even less. Fevry, sorry, whoops. Fevry's kind of there too. Eridan is here. Gamzee is... it's kind of hard. I like the evil clown thing. I just wish I had cared about Gamzee at all before now. So I'm putting him in here, I think. Nabita is in here. Aradia is here, I think, now. Solix is here. Aradia has gotten more interesting, but before this she was the most boring character of all of the trolls, which is incredible when you've got like Fefri and Tavros who've done like literally nothing the whole time since their introduction. But Aradia was purposely not interacting with anybody. At least Tavros had one conversation with Jade, and Fefri and Solix had like a relationship, so that gave them a little bit of depth. Aradia also did, but didn't talk to Solix at all the whole time, so it didn't really matter. And also refused to talk to the humans and then blew up. Now she's back and she's like the Grim Reaper, so that's cool. Hopefully she can get better as time goes on here. Solix, I still just like Solix. I don't know. He's funny to me. I enjoy him. I think Vriska also goes in here too, probably above Solix. I'm gonna rank them all properly at the end, but you can go in here too. I don't know. I kind of get the hype around Vriska, alright? She's very interesting. It's very interesting to see what she does. Even though everything she does, I'm like, why? It's still interesting. Rose, Jay's goes in here. Cal. Dave Sprite. I miss Dave Sprite. Dave Sprite is just Dave, so it's like the same thing. I miss Nana, too. Nana's funny. And I also miss Jaspers. I miss these guys. Jack, he's like here. He had like a little bit of characterization in the last episode where he wanted dog treats. That was something, at least. And like he had that conversation with Diamond's Droog where he was like, ugh, Jack's gone off the deep end or whatever. I have to run everything while he goes off and kills some random dude. So yeah, that's a good spot for him. And Doc Scratch is, personally, I find him boring. He serves his purpose, but as a character, he's literally just a plot wrench. I was trying to figure out a way to say that, but a plot device. That's what I was trying to say. Okay. And honestly, the parents are all boring to me, so I don't really want to put them there. I guess Bro is slightly less boring because at least he got some fight scenes. Dad did too, and I do like John's dad, but I guess I'll rank them. That way there's some stuff here, but they're probably going to be at the bottom of all their respective tiers. I don't think I can even justify putting like Dad above Eridan though, so no, I can't do that. Okay, ranking between the tiers. Let's start at the bottom first. This is easy. So Cal's definitely at the very bottom, so he stays there. Eridan gets to be here, and then at least Equia's got to do some fun stuff with Nepeta before he died. So he gets to go here. So if you're keeping count, I don't know what the actual count is, but Cal's in last place, then Eridan, then Equius. All right. Doc Scratch is definitely the most boring to me. I think after that is Tavros, unfortunately. Then probably Fefri. Nepeta's at the top of this, then Gamzee, then Rose. That feels good to me. Rose is only boring because she hasn't got to do anything but sit in a room for 3 hours, which I always have complained about like 7 times at this point. But it's true. Rose at the beginning was kind of boring too, honestly, because she was just like, John was exploring the game world, and she was just like sitting in a mausoleum on a computer. That's been like her role in this entire game, and it's a little bit sad because she does have potential. Maybe she's about to do something right now, finally. That'd be nice, but at the moment, boring, yes. Again, Fefri did the Dream Bubbles thing, but like anybody could have done that. It's not really unique to her. Doesn't make her stick out in my memory at all. The only thing that makes her stick out in my memory is fighting with Eridan. Eridan, okay, for as much as I dislike Eridan, he does stick out in my memory. I'll give him that, but I don't think he's particularly well motivated. Somebody made a comment a while ago about how they like Eridan as a villain, and I like Eridan as a villain in concept, because it makes a ton of sense that this guy who was abandoned would be like spiteful, especially in Troll Society. But I just feel like we need some more setup. He like disappears for like 500 pages and then comes back and kills 3 people. Like we need a little build up there, you know what I mean? And then Nepeta I've just put in here because her relationship with Equius is kind of fun. And she's not annoying like Equius is. No hard feelings. I think Jade's probably at the top. It's probably like this, honestly. Aradia hasn't really got to do anything yet. She's just showing promise. So I think that's the best I can do. If I made this before she became the Grim Reaper, she'd be down in boring tier, probably underneath Pfeffery. So, yeah. I like Jade, but Jade's kind of also in the camp of not getting to do anything. Jade Sprite was an idea that I think was really cool, but obviously she just cried and then disappeared. So, yeah. I think Jade's shining moment in the story so far is still when Jack destroyed Prospit and she saved John. And that was a long time ago. That was like 2 months ago in episode time. So, yeah. Give Jade something to do, please. We might be getting there. I don't know. Like, I still don't even know what the Witch of Space means. She hasn't used a single power yet. Yeah. This is just... I already did this. Vriska is very fun as a villain. And also is sort of an understandable character as well. I think she's not unredeemable, especially because Tavros isn't actually, like, gone forever dead. And that's really the only thing she's done. Is kill Tavros and then feel bad about it. I know she like set up all the paradox space stuff, but like she's as annoying as it is that she's right. She is right that it doesn't really matter who does it. It's going to happen eventually. So I don't know. We'll see. She did also blind and cripple people, which yeah, that's pretty bad. But the real question is, why didn't Tavros get robot legs earlier? I guess he was just afraid of Equius, which, you know what? To be fair, I would be too. I don't know. She's going to have to do some hard work, but I think she can get there. We'll see if that happens by the end of the story, or if she just keeps getting worse. Either way, still interesting. This is a lot harder. I think just by nature, Jasper Sprite has to be at the bottom because he showed up for like probably less than 10 minutes of total screen time. It's a tough race between Terezi and John. Honestly, the last few things for Terezi have been less interesting than John's. Carcat's also up here with Dave. The Daves. I guess if I had to rank between Dave and Dave Sprite, I'll rank regular Dave higher because I think he has better moments. Because Dave Sprite's been here for less time. That's really it. So I think I gotta put Carcat up here. I have grown to be really attached to Carcat, which is... Who would have thunk? The three main characters, in my opinion. I guess Dave is also there. 4 main characters. Kind of sad that neither of the human girls get to make it there, but that's how it goes, I guess. Kanai over Nana. Yeah, but that's as far as she goes. I don't know how to do these 3 here. I really don't. I still like John a lot, and I still like Terezi a lot, but I think, honestly, at this point, Carcat might have them beat. Carcat's just always got something to do. He's always there. Whereas Terezi kind of, in the last, like, month or so of episodes, hasn't really done much since she was talking to Dave, and even that was, like, just okay. It was funny banter, but she wasn't really, like, it wasn't anything about her character. I guess when Doomed Dave died, that was at least something interesting. Maybe I'll put her above John. Maybe I'll put her above John. It's hard because John's got the whole God tier thing going on, and him talking with Vriska is very interesting. Like, him talking with Vriska is way more interesting than Dave talking with Terezi, even though Dave talking with Terezi is way more entertaining. It's like hard to balance that out. But maybe we'll do this. We'll put him between the 2 Daves. I don't know. Dave is always interesting. I feel like John it's a 50-50. That's how I'm going to rationalize this in my brain. Yeah, so there we go. This is the Homestuck characters. There you have it. I know Cal isn't actually dead. Surely he'll come back. I mean, Jack already restitched him together or whatever, so great. But we're just going to pretend, okay? Just... Can we please just pretend? I forgot about a question of the day. Shoot! Hold on. Hold on. Let me get back on screen for this. Okay, question of the day. What one question would you ask the cue ball? You could only ask one. Classic question. All right. Bye-bye. Oh, like and subscribe. Oh, I forgot to say it at the beginning of the episode. I'll say it at the beginning of the next one. Okay.